so many of us are stuck in that place of someday, someday, someday. And we start every year wanting this year to be the year. This year is going to be the breakthrough. But for so many people, someday never comes. And I feel like it is so sad to get to the end of it all with your ideas, with your dreams, with your magic still inside of you. Because it's there for a reason. It is inside of you because it wants to come out. Happy New Year! I hope you had an amazing time over the holidays and a lovely new year. I feel like I always love the energy of the new year and getting excited about the possibilities and the opportunities and the things we can make happen. I feel like it's time when we're definitely all really keen and excited to just get on with stuff. All that said, as it is the new year, I was thinking like, what could we talk about that would be relevant for this time of year and for right now? And something that I have been thinking a lot about lately is, obviously because I'm doing the Ideas to Income Challenge, is ideas. And I want to tell you the story about this lady. So this is a story about a lady who had lots of amazing ideas. She had so many great ideas to do all these different things. And every year she got really excited about her ideas. And then as the year went on, she started to lose faith in her ideas. She started to feel like she couldn't make them happen. Life got in the way. All sorts of things got in the way. But most importantly, she got in the way. The biggest thing was her. She kept getting in her own way. She kept holding herself back. She kept talking herself out of taking action. She had these fears and these doubts, these worries, this imposter syndrome. And so she kept living the same year on repeat with these ideas and these dreams to do amazing things. And she kept not doing them. They kept simmering there underneath the surface. And it felt like they were bubbling up. But then she kept not taking the action on them to really see them through and to make something happen. And occasionally she took these little tiny steps, but most of the time she didn't actually completely follow through with her ideas, and it left her feeling really frustrated. And the years went by and she got older and older, and she still had these dreams inside her, and she still really wanted to do these things. And she still kept thinking about it all, but she kept being stuck in this place. And it went from feeling like, I can't do this, I'm too young, to I can't do this, I'm too old. There's no point now, I'm like too old, I'm never going to be able to make this happen. And the years kept rolling by over and over and over again. And then she was a really old lady. And then she passed away. She passed away with all of her ideas, all of her dreams inside of her. So this is the story of so many people. This is what happens to so many people. When you get to the end of it all, you don't get to do it again. You don't get a do-over. You don't get a second chance at this. You can't go back and wish you made better decisions. Like you can't. Life is now. It's happening now. We are here now. And it's what we do today that really counts. And so often we keep putting that off because we keep thinking we're going to do it tomorrow. And I feel like so many of us are stuck in that place of someday. And we start every year wanting this year to be the year. This year is going to be the breakthrough. But then it just spirals into, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it someday. I'm going to do it someday. I'm going to do it someday. But for so many people, someday never comes. And I feel like it is so sad to get to the end of it all with your ideas, with your dreams, with your magic still inside of you. Because it's there for a reason. It is inside of you because it wants to come out. And life is about letting out your magic, letting out your ideas, exploring everything. I've actually wrote a chapter on this in my book, my She Means Business book. And on page 234, it's a chapter called You Are Here. And I put an excerpt from my journal that I had. So it was my journal from December the 25th, 2011. And I said, I think I'm a bit mad for pursuing FEA, but we are born and then we die. And it's up to us to make the bit in between amazing. And then I said, one of the things that has helped me to become unstoppable in the pursuit of my business dreams and my dreams in general is the thought that we live on this planet we call Earth which hovers in blackness surrounded by stars and other planets that we really don't know much about. Then further out into the blackness, there is an entire universe that we can't even comprehend, yet somehow we are here. We are all special. We are all worthy. We are all capable of greatness. We are all equal because we are here. I am not about to waste my opportunity here. Are you? And I feel like I try and live my life by those words. I am not willing to waste my opportunity here. I'm not willing to do that. Like, I am here for a reason. You are here for a reason. Your ideas are with you for a reason. They've come to you for a reason because they want you to do something with them. So if you have started this year with these big ideas and these dreams and these things that you want, then it's time for you to really go for it and to make something so incredible and amazing happen. And to really think about the fact that this is your chance to, like, life is all of our chance to create something magical. So I wanted to share with you some little things that help me to kind of get out of my own way when I'm procrastinating, when I am struggling with imposter syndrome, things that really just help me to get on with it so that I don't die with my ideas and my dreams still inside of me. So the first thing is going to the end of it all. Go to the end of life. Imagine you're really, 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 really old. Go way, way, way into the future. Imagine like 108. And just imagine that's it. It's gone. It's gone. Like, how will you feel if you get there and you haven't done the things you wanted to do with your ideas and your dreams? You haven't lived the life you want to live. You haven't built that business or done that idea or explored. Sometimes this makes me realize, when I think about it like this, that it makes me realize how insignificant some ideas are. So I remember for so long getting so hung up on the idea of creating a course. I really wanted to create a course. I really wanted to do it, but I was blowing it out of all proportion in my mind. It was just this really big, overwhelming and scary thing. But actually, when you go to the end of it all and you think about the end of your life, you look back and you think, that course, like, I'm just going to do it. It doesn't have to be that complicated. It doesn't have to feel that scary. It's just one little idea that I can start working on. So I feel like for me, it helps to put things into perspective and helps me to really get that fire inside of me of like, I am not dying with my ideas and my dreams still inside of me. Like, I'm going to do all it takes to show up and be the person that I want to be in order to live the life that I want to live and achieve the amazing things that I want to achieve. It really creates that fire for me. So definitely give it a try, and even just the thought of it alone, just that thought in itself just really does something to me and just makes me think, yes, I'm here to do this. I'm here for a reason. And I feel like it's so important that we tell ourselves that you are here for a reason. I'm here for a reason, because it's so easy to forget. It's so easy to get so caught up in the day-to-day and to actually forget how important we are. We feel so insignificant. We feel like life, just maybe our life, like, isn't quite that important. It doesn't matter. We think all these things about ourselves, but actually we have to remind ourselves that we are here for a reason, and it does matter. Your voice does matter. Your ideas matter, because they can make such an amazing difference in the world and in your life and in the lives of the people around you. Changes everything. So that is the first thing. Go to the end of it all, and don't, in a fun way. I mean, only if it feels good for you, but just to see, like, what does it feel like, and what does it light inside of you? Because for me, it really lights a fire under me. That is for sure. The next thing, once you've done that, decide what you're here for. What are you here for? What do you want to make happen? What do you want to achieve? What is it that you are here for? So, like, list out your ideas, your dreams, go crazy, write hundreds of the things. All the things that come to you, whether it's 1 or 100, even if you're like, I don't even have an idea yet, but I know there's something bubbling up inside of me, and I know there's more that's waiting to come out, and I'm ready to open myself up to figuring out what that idea is. But opening yourself up to the idea, to figuring out what you are here for. What is it that you are here for? I feel like for me, something that's really helped with me exploring what am I here for, because it is a pretty big question. And I remember for a really long time going around in circles being like, what is my purpose in life? What is my purpose in life? What is my purpose in life? And I realized actually I needed to just get inspired by life. I needed to get inspired by life and get inspired by people and get inspired. And when you're in that place where you feel inspired, you start to feel alive and you start to open yourself up to ideas flowing and things popping up. Sometimes I feel like we're just so, we're just living in the weeds of the day to day that we are so closed off. We're not opening ourselves up to feel inspired and to be inspired by life, and then for those ideas, that inspiration, all of those incredible things to flow to us. And I feel like the more you get inspired by life and the more you start to tune in with yourself and you start to really connect with yourself of like what feels good for you and what would be fun, and you just start exploring and become this explorer, it's incredible where it can lead. And that leads me to the third thing is like, set off on your adventure with this. This is just an adventure. It's not about having things perfectly figured out. It's not about knowing exactly what your offer is. It's not about having a crystal clear vision on your ideas. It's not about any of those things. It's about being willing to explore the opportunities, to explore your ideas, to just explore. Take the pressure off yourself. I know for me, for example, like when I started FEA, it had been bubbling away inside of me for 3 years. 3 years I held myself back, going round and round in circles, thinking I had to be older, thinking that I had to have things figured out more, thinking that I had to be further along, thinking I needed qualifications, all of these things. And then the thing that really got me going was, one, this idea of like, well, for me, it was this, I did this funeral exercise in Michael Gerber's book, The E-Myth, and it's this idea of like, you're at your own funeral, what would people be saying about the kind of life you lived and the kind of person you were, and realizing, I am not being who I want to be. I'm not achieving the things I want to achieve. So it's kind of that similar thing of getting to the end of it all and that recognition that, crap, what the hell am I doing here? Like, it's time to wake up. It's time to actually do this thing called life, because I'm here to play it big. I'm here to make my life count. And so I'm going to do it. But for me, it was then about just going on an adventure to see what that actually meant. So like, what is it that, what did excite me, what did light me up, and exploring all those avenues and just opening myself up to connecting with people, asking more questions, being more curious, meeting new people and reading new books and taking more courses, and not going crazy, because I sometimes think you can get into like an overload with it all, but like doing it in a way that felt like I was on an adventure and I was exploring and I was expanding my life and I was figuring out how I was going to make it better and exciting and fun and adventurous, and getting really intentional about it and the way I wanted to live, and it's incredible. Like, I read this story recently about this man in the UK, or he's from Wales, and he just said that he had reached rock bottom. He just felt so depressed and so frustrated. He wasn't living the life he wanted to live, and he decided that he was going to quit his job and he was going to walk the entire coastline of the UK, including all of the outer islands. And he set off, I think he set off with like £10 in his pocket and a broken tent or something, and he just left and started walking. And I think by winter he'd made it to Scotland, and he said he met amazing people along the way. Like, he met this guy who because he was doing it, he was walking to raise money for a charity that had really helped him through some of his darkest moments, and he met this guy who really admired what he was doing, and he bought him a sleeping bag and a proper tent that wasn't broken. He found this letter in a bottle, and from like 40 years ago or 30 years ago, and he went over to Northern Ireland to find the guy from the address on the message, and actually found the guy and gave it back to him. Then he continued on his adventures around Scotland through lockdown. He was like on this remote island during lockdown, and he'd adopted this dog called Jet by then, and they were living on this remote island, and he was, I think the food, he was like getting the crab, and that's what they were eating, and just like living a very, very, I can't even think of the word now, but like outdoors, what is the word? I can't think of the word, but you know what I mean, like a completely outdoors life, remote. And then eventually on his on his journey traveling, he met another wild camper and this girl, and they kind of got together and like really hit it off. She ended up quitting her job in London to continue doing the walk with him around the UK. And I think they've got 3 months left of their walk, but she is now pregnant, 5 months pregnant. Well, when I read the story, she was 5 months pregnant. He'd also raised 200,000 for his charity, had grown to 130,000 on his social media profile. And he said, I left a broken man and I now found happiness. I found my happiness. So like when he started that, it was this line in the sand moment of, I am not happy like with where I'm at and what my life is. And so it's like line in the sand, I'm going to do something about it. And so for him, it was walking around, he was challenging himself to walk around the coastline of the UK. And he didn't know where that adventure was going to lead him to. But going on that adventure freed him. It freed him. It freed his mind, it freed his soul. And he said he found his purpose in life. He found happiness. And he also is now finishing his trip with a dog, a partner, and a baby, and raising so much money for charity and 130,000 followers on social media. And I'm like, that is just such an amazing story of what's possible when we do make that decision for ourselves, that absolute definitive decision with conviction that I am here to figure this out. I'm here to do this. I am here for a reason. And I'm here to explore that and to give it my best shot and to see like what can happen when I open myself up to it all. And I just think that is so powerful and so life-changing. And like I said, I know from my book when I just read it, but like that whole idea for me that we are here on this planet that hovers in blackness in this universe that we quite frankly do not understand. Yet we are here, and you are here right now listening to this episode. I do not think that you're listening to this episode by accident. I really think you're listening to this episode because you're meant to listen to this episode. That somehow these words are meant to find you, and they're meant to have some kind of impact on you and to help you as you go on this adventure of life and explore life for you and what that means for you and you can be living this like amazing version of life, and how you can look at maybe the ideas and the dreams that you've been sitting on and think, actually, it's time for me to do something about this. So really connect with that and really think through like, yes, I'm here for this. I am here for a reason, and my ideas and my dreams have come to me for a reason. And then think about like, what would be the ones that you want to start looking at pursuing? Like, which of the ones would you want to not get to the end of it all and think, oh, God, I just wish I'd tried to do that. Like, I wish I'd have just done it. Because it's not too late. It's never too late. You're never too young. You're never too old. You're never too unqualified. You're never too anything to go after your dreams and make amazing things happen, ever. We tell ourselves so much nonsense around why we can't have what we want, around why we can't do the things we want to do, when really we can. You know, even if you do need that qualification, you can go and get that qualification. You can always learn and figure out how to do this no matter what. And like going after it just having that conviction that you are going to do this is just so powerful. So go into this year and own it. Own what you're here for. Make that decision to yourself, because that decision in itself is just so life-changing. And for me, I consistently reaffirm this to myself. I consistently remind myself of this, because it's so easy to just fall into the trap of like just living day-to-day life and forgetting. I forget. And then I'm like, wait a second. Like when I check in and like with my future self, I'm like, am I really being who I want to be so that I can live my best life? Like, what does that need to look like? And like checking in so I can be like, actually, no, I've been procrastinating. I've been doing this. Okay, what's going on? And what do I need to work on? And what do I need to change? And so that I can keep going on this adventure and keep living a big, wonderful, joyful, happy life. If you've been sitting on your ideas, I hope that this helps you to think like, yes, I can do it. I'm gonna go for it. And you don't know how, you might make it happen in a month. might make it happen in 12 weeks. You might make it happen this year. You might make it happen in 12 years from now. But it's just that commitment to go in and to go after it. Because really, it's not even about reaching that destination. It's about who you become when you go on the pursuit of that journey. It's like, where is that going to lead you to? What people is it going to bring to your life? What joy is the journey going to bring for you? It's about the journey, not the destination. So yes, just some thoughts for you and some things that I've been thinking of as we enter this new year. And the things that that go through my mind that really help me to keep showing up for my dreams, because it's sometimes really blooming scary to show up for your dreams. And sometimes we just need to remind ourselves that, this is my one life. I don't get a second chance at this. This is not a dress rehearsal. And I need to be here to try and make it as amazing as I possibly can, and to live the best version of my life, and to be fulfilled and to be joyful and to be happy, and for whatever you want for you, but being intentional about that. Because this is it. This is it. So anyway, I will see you for another episode of the She Means Business Show next week. Bye everyone. I hope you've loved this week's episode of the She Means Business Show. If you want more help and support to build a wildly successful business, then join hundreds of thousands of women and become an FEA insider. You'll get access to some of our amazing freebies, to our bonuses, to our giveaways, to so much good stuff. You can join me over at fea.link/insider to get all of the goodness. And I will see you next week for another episode of the She Means Business Show.